And we all have. This is another actually interesting thing. I was talking to this really cool woman named Diane Sieber, who like basically started this.
Diane's my favorite name. Diane or Diana?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's a great name. Well, Sam is actually my number one favorite name. I like Diane.
Yeah. So
Sorry to
Diane,
interrupt.
no, you're good. She kind of started this Atlas Institute thing at CU Boulder, and it's like this interdisciplinary institute. Arts, physical sciences, applied sciences. Engineering. Very interesting. And this is a person who's like focused like basically her whole career on like Don Quixote and literature, especially in like this colonial period of the Spanish conquest of the United States and things like that. And we were talking about some very interesting things. I was talking about this woman Doreen Kondo, her work in Japan, where basically, so she's a Japanese American who like has a good grasp of not only the language of Japanese, but of the culture and the people, but not she wasn't raised fully in Japan. She hasn't lived her whole life in Japan. She spent most of her life in the States. And so when she went to Japan to do this ethnographical research where she's like, living in with this family, and stuff, she started to have this like really, really crazy identity split crisis like happen with her where she didn't feel like she was American and she didn't feel like she was Japanese, and she was freaking out. Because like Japanese people would sometimes treat her as Japanese and they would sometimes treat her as American, and she didn't know what she was, and it was a big problem, such a big problem that she had to go home. And I think that, that's a really good example. And I was talking to Diane Sieber about this because she was born in Spain. Spanish was her first language, grew up there for a little while, and then moved to the United States. And I was asking, I was looking at it from a very, very dualistic perspective of like, okay, you have these two identities, and that's crazy because most people I think feel like they have one identity,
Right.
or at least a lot, probably the vast majority of people feel that way. But then she was bringing up this point. What's culture? What culture is she fitting into? What culture is she imagining? She's fitting into in the United States. What culture is she imagining herself fitting into or perceiving herself fitting into in Japan? And I was like, and this is like Anthropology Club, so it's a bunch of people and stuff. So we're all like, what is culture? You're asking Anthropology Club, and my answer, basically, my response was basically that, good point. There's a lot more diversity there. And then she kind of retorted with this, we all have our own cultures. We all have our own grammar. We all have our own little, tweaks. These things. We're all perceiving things from this very, very, very individual perspective, which is one of the beautiful things about being, human and having that vast difference, between people. And really, we're just imagining those cultures, or those perception of cultures that we're, fitting into, just as much as we're imagining, our ego or ourself, right? It's all very abstract, if you try to pinpoint that culture, it doesn't really work.
I think a great
totally
quote. Great quote where it was like, if I could go back to my past and change something, I would change how I viewed my flaws, because now I understand that all of my flaws are just imaginary things. Like, what's a flaw? What's the difference between the norm? Where's the norm? What the fuck is a norm? Like, you just understand that it's just fluff. It doesn't exist. Flaws? What the fuck is a flaw? You're existing. You're doing everything the universe wants you to right now. You're breathing, and you're moving along the timeline, and you're in a space. Fucking, you're doing good. And
you are in space.
You're in space, and you're going through time. That's all you need to do. Your idea of you doing something wrong or not right or not as good as it could be, all these things are just fucking fluff. It's all just poof. It could go away. It could change. It could go blah blah blah. It doesn't. It's bleh. What is that? There's a French word for the bleh. I don't know what it is, but it's just.
You want me to say pom pom pom? Is that what you want?
I don't know.
Je ne sais quoi, is that what, like the? I mean, that's more of like the essence of like the I don't know, like the
It's
I
a
can't
quote.
explain it.
It's a
I
quote
don't know.
in Wolf of Wall Street. Um. Uh. Um. Matthew McConaughey's character says something about. He says
This
some
character's
French.
cool.
He says some French word. That movie's fucking insane. I love it. The
Yeah,
fucking
that's a
lewds,
good.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what's cool is that it's good to realize all of that on a lot of what I see is on there's just different levels to things, and I guess you could think of them as levels or whatever you want to think of them as. On one level, it is all fluff and it's all imaginary, but on another level, the everyday human, everyday person level, it's all very real and it affects all of the things on that level.
Yeah, the
Um,
levels are important when you're giving advice and talking about things because it
it
changes
is
so much.
because not everyone has seen those other levels. So if you're saying all that and they don't understand that you're saying, oh, it's on this level, um, then that's when people get into like Taoism and Buddhism and that and get like hedonistic or nihilistic because they're not seeing that it's all on a different level. Because on that human level, all the things that we imagine are very real. Our egos come into play all the time. Our culture comes into play all the time. On the bigger picture level, it doesn't. It is that fluff. It doesn't actually exist. But on an everyday person level, it is what exists, and it can be very important. And so it's cool to be a viewer of both levels,
Because there's always
or
a
multiple
reason.
levels.
There's always a reason as to why you're feeling the way you're feeling. It's not because even fluff and imaginary things are as real as
Mm-hmm.
anything else. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Just
Mm-hmm.
because it's a thought and not tangible, it's still a thing, and all the
It's
things
still, yeah.
are together. It's like
My ego still, I still
the ego.
make
Yeah,
decisions,
the ego
even though
is.
I'm imagining myself as me. Like unless I'm oming at that moment, or like have just like brought myself into a cosmic consciousness mode of thinking, I'm gonna be tempted by tons of different things. I'm gonna be eating sugary foods. I'm gonna be doing the dance of whatever's going on. Um, and so it's I just wanted to put that note in there. It's on a different level. On some levels, it is just that fluff, but on some levels, it's very, very real. And it's important to see the distinction, and that's where the good from that can come from is seeing that on a bigger picture level, like it's gonna be okay. It is a okay. On a personal level, maybe it's not okay right now, but there's no need to worry about it. You can only do what you can do right at this moment. If there's something bad that's going on and you're worried about it, either do something towards fixing it or don't worry about it. And that's obviously easier said than done. That's
Yeah.
just what I try and tell myself is like if I'm worrying about something, it's like, oh, well, I can't actually do anything about it right now, or oh no, I can do something about this right now. I'm going to do that. And there's no need for the worry in between because you're just thinking about what you could do. Either do it or don't do it.
I think as long as you, think as long as you have the idea that you might be able to change something, it's always
Mhm.
gonna bother you. Like
It's intrusive. Yeah, it'll
it's
just come
always
in.
gonna be I, I have this problem even though it's outside of me, but I might be able to do something to then alter it, like climate
Well,
change.
man, that's the thing. You can think that you might be able to do something, and then that could be it. And then when it comes, you'll thought, okay, and then you'll know that it's possible. Problem that people have is that they think they can think their way through it by just thinking about it enough. If I just sit here and worry and wallow long enough, I will think my way out of this problem. They don't consciously think that, but subconsciously, you're just laying there or sitting there or walking there, doing what you're doing, worrying yourself sick because you feel like you can just think your way out of the.
And it's funny because eventually you will, in the sense that you won't be able to take it anymore. And then
Yeah,
you'll realize that's not how to do it.
exactly. And then you'll actually physically do something. Yeah.
Yeah. So you end up doing it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is time.
So I mean,
Time just goes by.
yeah, people can worry all they
Eventually.
want. I just don't like to worry. So I have that little saying in the back of my mind when I start worrying, I'm either going to do something about it right now if I can, or I'm going to, if it is something that I can almost, I can like, oh, I'm really thinking I can think my way out of it. I'll put down a list of things and like just always have an action that you can do. Like just physically even writing down what you're thinking or typing it, telling someone about it, just that actual action that you're doing just brings it forth into reality so much more that it ceases to become a worry and it's just like a problem to overcome, I guess. But yeah, that is what happens. You literally you can just worry forever, and then eventually you'll just be completely sick of it. And I've done that a lot, just worrying, and then it's like, oh my gosh, like the day is here. It happened. And all I've done is worry about it. I haven't actually trained myself or gotten ready or done anything. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that just gets me into the meditation thing. I like active meditation because it's hard for me to sit still. Even though we talked about you want to do hard things, it's still okay to be comfortable. Do the things that because you learn about yourself and you find what makes you comfortable. And as a human, it's like it's okay to do the things that are comfortable. It's just as long as you then challenge yourself. Everyone just periodically challenge yourself so that you grow.
Yeah, you just want to be comfortable all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to be comfortable all the time because then you don't
Some
grow.
people do.
They want to be. Want. And then
Yeah,
they
think
do
they
it.
want to.
And
They
then
want-
Then they're like, why am I not happy? What have I
Yeah.
done? Why do I feel so
Why is everything the same? Why am I not moving forward?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's because I see everything else around me improving except for me. Like, I'm, like, because then if you have that thought, if you're like, dude, I'm the same piece of shit as I was 5 years ago, except everything else around me is going up. Like,
That's hard.
You're
That's
gonna-
hard to deal with. The longer that goes on,
yeah, the longer it goes on.
that's hard.
But then, the other side of that is if you are growing with time around you, oh man, that's beautiful. And that's only happened for me recently. It's
Yeah,
been a lot
I'm
of
somewhere in the
times-
middle. I feel like there's days where I'm not growing, and there's days where I grow a lot. And I think that's most people. Well, I don't know. I think most people probably. This is a tricky thing. I feel like a lot of people don't grow that much because they're not thinking about it. I don't know. I'm just cynical about the whole way that the American society specifically works, where it makes me feel like most of the people that I meet out on the street aren't actively trying to get better as much as possible. They're just doing the consuming thing. Let's just make money, consume, make money, consume, make money, consume. My friend's dad was just so adamant that is the key to life. That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just make money and do fun things, and that's it. That's what you're supposed to do. And my friend, obviously, he's like, Dad, like, I can't even explain to you, like, what? Like, just completely speechless. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the not
So
understanding.
I feel proud that I think I at least am growing more than that. I think. I hope.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You're already there. He's just the not understanding fulfillment is tough for me. I mean, not for me personally. I feel like I have a decent grasp of it now, but just being around people who don't understand that and just want the pleasure now, and and for the foreseeable future, just think that that's forever going to be the thing. Like, yeah, because yes, it's awesome to party and it's awesome to have a great time right now, and that's what like people when you say live in the now, they're like, yeah, get drunk and party because then it feels good. Guess what happens next morning?
You can't even.
It's gonna be now the next morning, and you're not gonna be feeling good.
Yeah,
because it's always now.
Because right
so planning
now,
for the future is perfectly being in the now.
yeah,
There's
because
no problem with planning for
Imagine
the
that
future.
future and the now are connected. Gee,
Gee, who would have
Gee,
thought
who would've
that
thought?
that you can predict things and that your mind is a little more complex than like
Yeah, even if you're not predicting it, just set forth things like, if I didn't work out today, tomorrow I would be weaker. You know, so like I work out today, so that tomorrow I'm a little bit stronger because tomorrow is gonna be now, and I want to be strong now. So.
Yeah.
It's you don't even have to predict what's going to happen. I don't know how strong I'm going to be. I don't even know if I'm going to live tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think prediction is just kind of a slippery slope, but it is good that we can predict. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just,
Not to downplay
it's just
prediction.
taking away
there are
awareness.
causal relationships that are helpful that you can understand and you can apply.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't mean that it's going to work out, you know, exactly how
No,
you think
yeah.
every single time, right? But at least like there's some connection there.
Yeah, that's why.
And
Yeah,
we are smart enough to know a lot of things.
yeah, you don't want to, cause like
Science
it's like
is good.
when you travel, like you don't want to plan too much, but you don't want to have no
No.
plan. You want to have a loose structure that allows for that nuance and allows for you to go,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's cool, or this is cool, or I heard this guy, or I talked to this guy, and he said this is cool, so maybe I should, you know, because then, because you just have something to base it off of, and it's just really, it just helps everything, but it's always a balance, so, and it's different for every person, so depends on who you are, and that's what always helped me is just understanding yourself better. And once you start understanding yourself better, then you can balance things a lot easier because you can understand where you are comparatively. And our brains are really good at that. Our brains are really good at comparing ourselves to others and other than the outside and patterns. So if you use that, you use your abilities to do those things, then you can just become better at balancing stuff like that, and you're a lot more at peace when you can balance.
Yeah, a lot more at peace, which is important.
Which is what we all want at the end of the day, even if you don't think it. You just want to be at peace. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Contentedness, fulfillment, happiness, joy.
Yeah. Even if it's moving, even if it's doing a lot of crazy stuff, at the end of the day, while you're doing that, you want to be able to appreciate it and be in peace in your own mind the whole time. And
I feel very at peace when I'm moving very fast down a mountain on a board. Like, there's a lot going on, and it's intense.
Yeah.
But I feel very peaceful.
Yeah.
Inside.
I 100% relate to that. Exactly.
Dude.
we all
Yeah.
bored. We all three of us bored.
Yeah.
So
I wrote my essay to get into Boulder about that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got in, so imagine that. That was nice. I was gonna bring this up a little bit earlier. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. It's the detachment of the physical movement from the piece, right? You don't have to the physical movement you don't have to be physically still to have feel still in your mind, right? Like that river that Chase is talking about, right, can be super, super clear, and that's totally irrespective to what your physical body is doing.
Yeah, when I'm dancing, my water is calm and clear, even though I'm fucking wilding out. My water is very clear, and that just, I don't know, because we're, I don't know, I guess it could work for some people. It's just better for them to sit still, but for me,
the more you do it, the more you'll get it, even when you're not sitting still. It's like a muscle.
That is
So I
true.
think that's how you start.
Because it's
I think it
breathing.
always can come into your whole life. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
breathing
At the
and
end of the day,
just
it's just
being
breathing.
aware, which are two things that you can't stop doing. You're never not aware, and you're never not breathing.
So why not be super aware of the breathing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's crazy.
yeah.
But that's
I've been
just what.
at parties, like loud music, people going around, and then someone will say something about something, and it almost is like a drug goes off in my brain or something, and I'm just like instantly I'm like, what is whoa? And then I can almost all the everything like dulls, and then I'm like, oh no, okay, I'm just partying right now. Let's go back to that. And it just all comes back. It's crazy. I don't know if that made any sense, but
Yeah.
I just remember
The
moments,
like
just like
sense
someone
of
will say something, and I'm just like, oh, like just for like a split second, I just feel like not like out of body, but just like so aware, but not in an overwhelming sense. It's just like, oh yeah, this is okay, and then I just go right back to doing whatever I'm doing, and that just comes from practicing so much, just breathing, just actually sitting down back years and years ago, actually sitting down and meditating every day. You don't need that once you're just actually being
yeah.
aware.
Because I definitely did that early on.
Hmm.
Just did a lot more sitting still in order to get to some sort of clarity. Because I wouldn't be able.
Yeah,
I that's true. I wouldn't be able to do it as well. Although like I've always
it's
kind
a
of been
good
able
way.
to do it
It's
like
a very good
sports
way
and
to. Right. That's like the
yeah,
flow state and everything
yeah.
just kind of locks you in, like psychedelics, like those kind of
Mm,
things can fast track you to the present moment, I guess, if you want to just
yeah.
being
And then
present. Drawing,
drawing,
art,
just turned my
playing
brain
music,
off.
singing, dancing.
It blew my mind at
Yeah.
Evergreen because
Recording.
like I never because like I was this is one particular day where I was just drawing in my notebook like I did every day, and I was just like just sick of it. I was like, dude, I'm drawing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I told someone that, and they were like, dude, these are all different. Like, and these are what the fuck is wrong with? What are you talking about? Like, these are not. Do you know what you're doing? I was like, no. I don't know. No. And then it was just like, and then they were just like, I could never do this. And in my mind, I was like, why? Like, why can't people just draw the things in their mind that are coming to them? And I was like, because like when I start drawing on a piece of paper, I just have the idea to fill it in a certain way, and just it doesn't happen for everyone. It doesn't happen like that. But that's what's cool. Is
It's just what you're interested
we
in.
all have
Some people
these
aren't interested in it.
right, but we all have these gifts that are just given to us, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why or how or but it's still a gift at the end of the day because I didn't do anything to deserve it. I just got it. Like my life, like there's so many things that life just gives you, and it's just the only way to perceive it for me is it being a gift because it's temporary. And since it's temporary, it literally can't be negative. It's just a thing that I have I can do whatever I want with. And I just choose to try and use it to help myself and everyone else around me because at the end of the day that's what makes me happy. So I'm just trying to find peace. That's it. It's just just a gift. But
It'd be great if the whole world was just doing that.
yeah.
So that nobody was fighting in wars
So I
or
think a lot of people take what happens to them in their lives and what they've been given, and they think life is just against me. Life is throwing
blame
me
others.
shit
All on the
hand.
outside.
Life
It's
is
not
giving me
me.
a shit hand. I can't do anything with this and that, and it's just the negativity from something
How
you
could
did
this
nothing
happen?
for. You've done nothing to deserve the things life is giving to you. yet you have it. How can that? And it won't last. It'll end, like everything else. So how can that not be a gift? How can that be? I don't know.
It is a gift. It's the ultimate gift, the divine gift, if you want, if you may.
Because that's what, like, hell is like heaven is on earth, but some perceive like their life to be like hell, right? Like, because I think they just fixate on just these certain things that have happened to them, or that they just think was not their fault, and it's fucked up. And a lot of times it is. A lot of things happen to a lot of people. It's really fucked up, and
it sucks.
And it sucks. It really sucks. And I'm super lucky that I have a really blessed life compared to a lot of other people. But
relatable.
But it's all about perspective too. Like, yeah, I have a lot of awesome stuff, and from a lot of ways it seems very easy. But on the other hand, I understand that I've gone through some really hard things and difficult things to me. Maybe not to other people. Maybe those things that happened to me aren't difficult for other people, but they were difficult for me.
It's all about getting through your own struggles, and you can be unfortunate, and those could be way out of any of our three.
Yeah.
People born in just abject poverty or without legs. But it's cool. You see those people. There's people that come through it and they're super content.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of times having less,
they went through those hurdles and they conquered it.
Because having less in and of itself can be a gift in that you are less likely to be trapped in possessions. Like, it's so crazy to think about. I always think about this kid in Nepal who had no legs and had a skateboard and would ride on with his arms and would just mob for money. Just little bits of money here and there. And I just thought, like, just seeing him, I was just like I was just blown away that he had as much energy and had the tenacity to keep going. Like fuck. Like I am to him I am just so beyond privileged and lucky to have all the things that I do. Because if he could teleport,
he could think that about himself too.
I think he does, because he was happy. He has had a smile on his face. He was because he doesn't have the, I don't know, it just seemed to me like he was free. Like he had this freedom about him that I didn't have in that moment. Like I was looking around and like, I was very appreciative. I was very appreciative of being there and being able to observe all these things, and I was very curious. But I didn't have the freedom that kid had in that moment. Like, it just seemed like I don't know. Freedom is the best word I can describe it. I felt like in that time in my life when I was younger, I felt entrapped. I felt like, fuck, why did I have all these? Now I have to deal with all these things. Why?
Yeah.
Why, God, why? Yeah. Right? Like, why do I have to be, just entrapped by possessions and responsibilities, and why couldn't I just do my own thing? I didn't ask to be alive. Why the fuck am I here?
One.
And it's true. I don't know why. But I am here. I got the gift. And it's certainly a gift. So I'm going to use it the best I can and enjoy the ride, because it will end. And that's what makes it beautiful.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Just be appreciative of your gift out there, people.
Yeah. Of all of them. And they're constantly getting more, and just the fact that life is
or don't
has so much nuance. Yeah, you can. What's the thing is, you can be upset.
Crap on it all you want.
You could be sad or upset or angry at the things that you've been given, and that is perfectly fine and natural. And you just gotta take it face on and go through it, because on the other side, I can pretty much guarantee you're gonna look back and be like, like it's okay. Like,
That itself was a gift.
and I'm glad that I went through, because yeah, if you get something like a
Contrast.
shitty hand dealt to you, if you get through it onto the other side and improve yourself as a person and can look back and say, I did the best that I can and I used what I was given to the best of my ability, you will never feel bad about yourself if you can truly say that. Like, you'll feel good. And that's what you want, right? You want to feel good. So use what you have to the best of your abilities, whatever that is to you, right? Like, and that's a lot of pressure, right? Do the best. But a lot of times,
Yeah,
Can be anything. The best can be anything.
the best could be anything. Yeah.
exactly.
When I think
And
about
it
doing the
constantly
best that I can
changes.
do, I just try and do what I can. That is my best.
Right.
Not
do
have
what I
expectations
can.
for that, and develop those,
Yeah.
create these ideas of things that need to happen, or else you're not worthy or whatever. 'Cause
Yeah. That's where a lot of depression comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like
It's nice
I
to
said
just
earlier, like
every day.
just existing on that space-time continuum, whatever you want to call it, that line where you're in space and you're going through time, to the universe, you are doing your job. To you, you
Yeah.
might not be, and that's cool too, because that's another level, right? The biggest level, you're just existing.
If you know you're
But
not doing what you need to be doing,
yeah, but
do
on a
it.
societal level, on a human level, like just on like a personal level, like there's just so many things. Like, I want to do art and get better at art, but to the universe doesn't give a shit about that. Society might not even really care. But on a personal level, I just like to be improving, knowing that I'm a temporary human being. I like to know that I'm trying my best to get better every day at doing what I'm doing what I'm passionate about, doing what I think life has given me gifts to be able to do. I try my best, and I think I can say that. And I haven't always been able to say it. That's the thing, and it'll change too. There's always new challenges.
I don't know if anyone's not ever trying your best. I mean,
Mm.
because even if you fall into like pitfalls of like getting distracted or like, I don't know, you get addicted to something, you're doing what you can, and maybe your best just wasn't good enough right then.
This is the intentions, right?
I don't know.
Perception.
Just the
It's
intentions, I
perception,
guess.
right?
It
Because
is, yeah.
Like, okay, then in every moment, sure. Then you're doing what you can, or you're doing what you think you can,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
But your intentions change, and that's what I think is important.
But your
Is
intentions, yeah,
I
are
was doing the
important.
best I could early in my life for an intention that I currently don't think was the right intention, and now that intention's
Yeah.
changed, and now I feel like I'm doing my best. Like I was doing my, like yeah, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
think intentions is
I
a very
almost
important
never
thing.
feel like I'm doing my best, but I feel like I'm aiming towards it as much as possible.
Right.
But I think it's just having different definitions of best. That's just a
Yeah,
semantics thing.
Yeah,
Like,
because there's always a thought in the back of my head that I could be doing more, right? And that's kind
yeah,
of like
well, and that's
anxiety,
where
and that's kind
you're
of like
you strive for improvement. Yeah, that's where that
overthinking, yeah.
feeling comes from.
right.
Like, oh, like I could be doing this or this, and it's like, I don't know. If I felt like I was already doing my best, then my best would kind of suck because I wouldn't be doing better than yesterday. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
just it's
Yeah.
just gets into semantics. It's just my definition of best can be very different from someone else's.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't know if I can, I don't know, reach my full potential or whatever,
potential.
other than just trying to do the important things to me every day, like the things that are important and difficult to do. And I don't always succeed at doing that, but I do succeed at it more and I guess. But
Yeah,
there's still lots of periods of not succeeding.
yeah, because it's always
So
it's
I
a
guess
roller
that's,
coaster.
that's pretty much doing my best.
Consistent improvement, over time.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that's how I see me doing my best. It's just if I can just improve at improving, then I
Yeah,
guess that's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Growth isn't static. Like
No.
no, because it
And
doesn't.
you never know, like, because I don't know what is. I don't know what my best is.
Because it doesn't
Maybe I'll go on
exist.
to be a Hollywood producer and just make awesome documentaries, or maybe I'll just have a small YouTube channel and barely have enough money to eat. I don't know
Right,
which one
because
is my best, but
yeah, because that Hollywood version
I'm
of
gonna do
you,
whatever we want.
you might have. So say, those two versions of you. If you have a family in both, the Hollywood version of you might be an asshole. You might be a terrible father. You might,
Yeah, who says that that's the best? Yeah, I don't
and then
know.
the other side, you might, professionally not be doing as well, but you're loving and attentive and caring to those around you, and you mean more. You do more just kind and thoughtful things to those around you, and that spreads, and then those people around you are doing more successful, and so at the end of the day you're actually doing more than that
Yeah,
other version
that's
because
why either one could be the best because you could still be
yeah
doing that as a Hollywood dude. Well, maybe not in. I don't know. Hollywood's pretty.
It's not even on
Probably
you.
not.
At the end of the day, like
Yeah.
that success,
Mhm.
is external. That comes from the
yeah
external.
Right.
That's not, you're
Right.
not you're at the end of the day, you're not the one generating, like, yeah, sure, you're doing
Mhm.
your content, whatever, you're doing your thing, but other people are appreciating it or they're not. And that's not you, right? And so that, success, I feel like has got to be, internal and based on like
Yeah.
actual, interactions like Chase was talking about, like
Mhm.
actually, caring about people and people caring about you and being
Yeah.
attentive, caring and kind and,
That is. Yeah.
meaning
That's what
something
I
to other
value in
people, right?
success.
Because you're at the end of the day, even if you're creating this wonderful content, like you're not, meaning something personally as a human, as an individual, to those people, unless they're, imparting that on themselves or whatever, creating that idea in their head. And then again, that's external, that's not on you.
Yeah.
So
yeah because it's funny because
Yeah.
some
That makes
like
sense. True success is just. Oh, sorry.
I just feel like a lot of people in terms of art
yes, so close.
and artists and like when they look at art and artists and like they're just like you're not successful unless you're making X amount of dollars or you have X amount of views or like it's all about this weird following or like it's just
Yeah.
so and then and it's like you're
Yeah.
not doing anything until you get there. It's like what how do you build that? Like you're doing art the whole time like
She did not have an Instagram.
yeah, it's like what the fuck? It's like
Yeah.
it's so
I try to stay away from those thoughts. That's why I'm not on Instagram. Not like very often, except for you do want to make a living doing what you love. So you gotta promote it.
There's
At some point,
about
but you
there's
don't want to get into that
is a really
toxicity. Oh yeah, it's
the
all
it's
about the
the
balance.
security
I
and
feel successful
independence.
if I wake up in the morning and make coffee like just depends on the different morning, but like before a certain time, it's like, oh, okay, I was successful. I got up, I physically got out of bed, made some coffee, and I'm now up. Like that is a little success. And then I got out my drawing pad and I started drawing something. That is a success. Like all those little, and they just add up. And so, yeah, I just feel successful.
I feel like a lot
Even
of
though I
kids
don't make barely any money at all. I
yeah.
feel successful.